another edition of the Shank and Spence Show. We just got done talking about the second half of the Giants 49ers game. It was a great
Yep.
game to watch, and now we're going to talk about honestly, in my opinion, the most anticipated game for the Giants to date. We're going to talk about the
Yep.
Giants, going on the road at the link against the Philadelphia Eagles, and as a lot of you guys remember from last year. Giants got extremely embarrassed last year by I don't even remember who the quarterback was last year for the Eagles.
Foles.
Slicing and dicing us. Giants couldn't do anything offensively,
Yeah.
defensively, special teams. We had a flat goose egg. It was a 27-0
and the worst
affair.
was Cruz.
And this is the one game
Cruz
I
went
live
down.
in Philadelphia, and I get bashed every single week for being a Giants fan, going on to the Temple campus. As people know, I go to Temple, and I'm from North Philadelphia. But I go and I get bashed by all my friends out there saying, "Oh, you're gonna lose. Eli looks like a baby, this and that." But you know what? This is the 1 week to shine for us, and there is no way, in God's name, not no how, we're going to lose this game this week, because losing is not an option for me this week. I can't do with another loss like I did. Your take on it, Spence, because this is a great revenge game for a lot of these guys coming back for another game against these big bad Eagles.
I know, and when you go to the Eagles games, their fans will boo the players that get hurt, and just the Victor Cruz injury last year. I mean,
torn patella, yeah.
I honestly thought that, Victor, he probably will not be the same guy
It's a shame.
for the rest of his career, and it had to happen at Lincoln Financial Field, the place the Giants do not like to play football. This rivalry, really hits home for us here, living in Pennsylvania. But I look at the Eagles, and it's a different level of rivalry, because growing up here in Pennsylvania, you have to hear it from all angles, Philadelphia sports all the time. And Chip Kelly is one of the most arrogant coaches that we've ever had to play. You have the Eagles as players are not exactly the most dislikable team, but combine it with their fan base and the whole rivalry and disrespect that both fan bases kind of will display. Washington, the last couple of years, has been our little brother, and I think it's always kind of been the little brother.
Yeah, I see him as a dust in the wind.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins, you kind of even somehow feel bad for those guys, but the Eagles, they're right up there with us every year.
Got that bad taste in my mouth just talking about this subject.
And if they beat the Giants, they're going to be tied for first place in the division. Chip Kelly's going to be given a new lifeline on life, new luxury on life. They're going to be like, "Oh, we just needed time to let everything develop."
Yeah, and never hear the end of it.
I want Chip Kelly to USC. That's what I really want. The average coach like a Mark Trestman to come in there, because Chip Kelly's a scary dude. But shenko, and I called the Saints blowout for the Eagles. Man, I'm scared of the Eagles, and tell me why I shouldn't be.
You should not be scared of the Philadelphia Eagles, because honestly, that offense doesn't really scare you this year. Honestly, they're a slow starting team, and the Eagles they don't really perform well in the first half, as a lot of our people who watch the NFL, and you see the Eagles don't really they really a slow starting team. They'll start putting up these points in the second half, and basically you just gotta basically I'm gonna roll into what the Giants need to do to honestly win this game. And honestly, the Giants just need to come out with the gas pedal, go. And you cannot let up. You got to score quick, score early, score often, get to a nice, at least a 30 to 3 halftime lead, because you know that the Eagles and that Chip Kelly offense is going to start rolling in that second half.
27-point lead at the break?
We need to have at least a 27-point lead going into the second half, because honestly, I'm really worried about this defense.
Sign me up. Let's go.
I'm worried about this defense in the second half, just because of the fact that they don't really play well in the second half. Just as we talked about, with Colin Kaepernick,
Yes.
Dyson in the second half, and we don't have Prince Amukamara this week. He's got something going on with his shoulder this week.
Of course, we don't have Prince.
His neck muscle, and he's a great talent in our defense that we need this week to stop Riley Cooper and Nelson Aguilar.
Yeah, Riley Cooper. I'm so scared of Cooper.
But you know what though? That's who they have this week, and honestly, the Giants defense cannot let up. They need to do the same thing like they did in the first half against the Niners. If you blitz Bradford, he's going to get erratic. He's going to throw the ball away. Yep. He's going to get very, careless with the ball. You need to get on him early, and you cannot let up. And you just got to, dial it up on D. And honestly, this is going to be a nice, easy win for the Giants. But I honestly think it's going to be, it's going to be a close game at least for the first half. Easy win. I really don't see that. I really don't want to see that, because the way I still have that revenge factor in me from last year, just being that being at a Giants Eagles game with my friends, watching it on TV, and them always bashing me, and I just need to have a blowout win so I can actually feel happy being 4-2, and then the Eagles will drop to 2-4. And there'll be 2 games out again. Yep. And, they'll be starting to call for Chip Kelly's head again. And they're going to be pointing fingers saying this, that, we can't do this right. But the Giants need to start early, and they cannot let up. That is the key to success. Point it down no matter what. And I just want to get your key to success, Spence. Let's see what you got.
The key to the success is stopping Ryan Matthews on the outside. I truly believe Ryan Matthews is the most talented running back that the Eagles have. And notice I didn't say DeMarco Murray, who they're paying $13 million. I'm sure Eagles fans would even tell you that is a waste of money. The one good thing about this matchup is that Sam Bradford is not that great. I even think Colin Kaepernick has a ton more upside than Sam Bradford. I think Bradford's one of the more mediocre quarterbacks. He can have a noodle arm. He looked a lot better last week. He was anticipating throws. He's not a guy that's going to beat you deep all the time. He doesn't have an unbelievable arm. He's not mobile in the pocket. Spags has got to send the blitz. I do think we can get after Ryan Matthews and gang tackle like we did with Carlos Williams in Buffalo. That would be beautiful. Force the Eagles in the 3rd and 10s with Sam Bradford. That's the key I see. But if Ryan Matthews is running on the outside on us, it's nighty-night in a hurry. Our defense has to be stout on the outside. For the Giants on offense, I'm very worried. The Eagles' defensive front is for real. Fletcher Cox, Benny Logan, these guys can get after the passer. So if Eli has no time, that's another avenue. We need to protect Eli. That's a must. Running the football against the Eagles, they have a very talented defense. As much as you can't stand the Eagles and I can't, they have a very talented defensive front.
They do.
And I think that we're going to have – we need to attack their secondary. Byron Maxwell is not very good. Walter Furman, we had him last year, not very good. Who else do they have? Yeah, they have Eric Rowe and Malcolm Jenkins. Their secondary is beatable. So Eli's got to pick them apart. We need a little bit of running game and dominate the time of possession. So the first key I'm going to give is stopping Ryan Matthews in the running game. The second is at least running the football a little bit and winning the line of scrimmage on offense. So. And that is very hard to foresee us doing, in all honesty, is Eli putting up big points versus defense, because I just don't think he's going to have the time,
It's a pipe dream for me, man. I just don't.
I'm scared because Drew Brees was fumbling all day last week versus that Eagles front.
Yeah, that just really just scares me, that defense. in the fourth quarter. Once it gets to the third, fourth quarter, I'm holding my breath for dear life.
What, the Giants
And
defense scares
the
you?
Giants,
The
yes,
Eagles pass rush
yes.
scares me more than the Eagles offense
Like
does.
I honestly think the Giants, I'm worried that they're going to get this big lead in the fourth quarter. I mean, we've had the same problem in 2010 when Deshaun Jackson, returned it after we were up 31-10 with like 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter at
Nah.
the Meadowlands.
Listen,
But
I'll take a chance on a comeback. I don't want. I'm scared that we're gonna that this game is gonna be hard for us to keep up with the Eagles. In all honesty, Shank. I mean, the Eagles are favored by 5 in Vegas.
ooh, only 5. That's a weird line, though. I don't like
Four
lines
and a
over
half.
5.
4.5.
4.5. What? Eagles. Oh, they're just begging you. Oh, they're just begging you. Well, watch that line's gonna go down. Watch it. I'm pretty sure that's gonna go down to at least 4, about 4, maybe 3.5. Because I feel like there's gonna be a lot of late money on the Giants.
Mm,
I just feel like you all. And another thing, Spence, another thing
yeah.
that ticks me off about you. You're always worried about this Chip Kelly offense, and it could catch fire at any time.
Yeah,
And
I'm worried about it.
I
Definitely.
mean,
I'm
yeah,
worried about.
I
I'm
mean,
worried about
I
this
just get
game in
tired of
general, man. I'm
you
worried about
talking
this.
about it all the time. I mean, like you say it on every show. I get it. Like we gotta stop, Matthews and Murray, and once we be able to stop them, then that quick tempo offense is gonna be a deer in the headlights, and Sam Bradford's gonna be throwing more picks than I don't even
But
know.
do you really
But
think that the
just
Giants are going to get to Sam Bradford?
I honestly think they're going to get to him because the defense is number one pass rush in the league or pass rush league when it comes to stopping the run. And honestly, once they play swarming like they did like last week, and I'm not very impressed with the offensive line with the Eagles. I mean, they do have a lot of false starts this year so far, and honestly, Bradford's still playing very erratic. I mean, he had those two easy interceptions in the red zone last week against a Saints defense who's ranked middle class in the league. And honestly, I just don't see a variation there of us being able to I see that we're going to be able to stop them. Being able because Sam Bradford's going to be still finding his way in Philadelphia and running that quick tempo Chip Kelly offense. And once we, like I said earlier, that's it. Once we just gotta get pressure on
Listen,
him. That's the hundred
yeah,
percent key.
you gotta
That's
knock
it.
down Bradford. Ryan Matthews is the guy you have to. Sproles, by the way. Oh, I forgot to even mention that guy. I mean, imagine his speed on the edge of our defense. That is super, super scary because Bradford could just dump it off to him in blitz situations. As much as you want
Oh,
to
that's
dog
true
on,
too.
as long as you want to dog on Bradford, I mean, the guy did have his best game last week versus the Saints. He was comfortable. He was finding Josh Huff. He looks a lot more confident. The 2 red zone interceptions, okay, big deal. It would have been a 52-10 game had he not made those mistakes. The
Yeah, but
Eagles are
you're have to.
the
Yeah,
Eagles
I
are the
understand.
hottest team in the league, or the Eagles are the hottest team. They played the best game by far last week. If the Giants lost to San Francisco, I would say that we would get demolished actually going into the link. But the fact that we won, beat San Francisco, we're on an emotional high. So the good news
Right.
is practice is going to go better, obviously,
And
because
I
we
was
got the win.
right.
It's the power of winning. But Shank, which team is more talented in your eyes, the Eagles or the New York Giants? What team has more talent?
More talent right now. I mean, honestly, right now, I honestly think the Giants do have more talent. And I honestly feel that, I mean, they just proven it in a week to week basis. I mean, going off their record, I mean, obviously we're 3-2, they're 2-3. But, like, I honestly feel that, we can catch fire at any time. And I'd rather have Eli at the helm than Sam Bradford at the helm. I mean, Eli just gets it done in big time situations. Sam Bradford is not a proven commodity yet. He's only played, 5 games in the Chip Kelly offense, and you just see times where Bradford's very inconsistent. Like I said, yeah, he threw those 2 bad interceptions last week, and you shouldn't do that as a like a seasoned veteran. I mean, I honestly consider him as a seasoned veteran now. He's basically 5 years into the league. You should be able able to read coverages and manipulate defense, and you should be able to step up when time is right. And Eli has proven that time and time again. With the he's got obviously that 2 Super Bowl resume, 2 MVPs on his resume, and it's funny you say because I I just don't see, and I love our running backs a lot, and they're really good in my opinion.
Yeah.
And well, honestly, I think the Eagles got a better running back core, of course, but
I think that
I
I
just
think I think
they just can't. The Eagles. The problem with the Eagles, they just can't bring it together. And
mm,
obviously, Chip Kelly is not really working out for them right now. I mean, they're
no.
starting to pick pace, but
Yeah, the giant.
honestly,
This is
the
yeah.
Giants are just a better overall team right now, and it's
Um,
just proven on the field. Obviously, with the way they've been playing the past 2 weeks. And obviously, I see Spence is disagreeing here with me right now. I
Listen, I
honestly,
mean,
I'm just curious what you have to say.
we're both guys that support this Giants football team. So, I mean, people could call me a hater all you want, but here's the straight up facts. Or here's what my points is that the Eagles have Benny Logan, Fletcher Cox. Fletcher Cox is a top 5 defensive end in the NFL. They have Brandon Graham, who's playing a lot better. They have at linebacker, they're stacked. They have Kendricks, and then if Kiko comes back, they have better linebackers. I mean, our best pass rusher is a fullback. Mark Herzlich is not an NFL starter. He's just not athletic enough to play that position. The Eagles' secondary, I don't think is that great, but I'm very fearful of that pass rush of the Eagles getting to Eli, because when Eli gets battered around, when he gets hit, that's really where things could kind of turn disastrous. So the Giants are going to have to run the ball, which I think we're going to have trouble doing a lot. The Giants are better at quarterback and wide receiver, but the line, I think that the two lines we're going to need to stop the running game. We're going to need to keep this game really low scoring in order to beat the Philadelphia Eagles. And I think that the Eagles have the most talent in the out of any team in the NFC East because of Ryan Matthews. He's going to continue to have a breakout season. Their wide receiver core, you have Huff, Jordan, Matthews, not terrible. Ertz is playing better. The way I look at the Giants' season so far, also Shenko, is that Buffalo win. It's getting worse and worse. Buffalo, I felt great after that Buffalo win because I was like, wow, Buffalo is a stud team. Buffalo's terrific. But guess what their 3 wins are? Indy, who's a lot worse than we thought. The Dolphins are dreadful. So even though they crushed Miami, who cares? And then, did you see that Tennessee-Buffalo game? Buffalo played atrocious at Tennessee. Buffalo's flat out not that good. And then you have the Washington game. Washington's okay. And then you have the Niners. That was a nail biter. So the Eagles are playing better football right now. And all the Giants' wins are not are not holding high. So if the Giants can win this game, it's the biggest game of the Giants season for a multitude of reasons. Next week